Hi guys, and welcome back to our grade 3 English class. This week we're going to be talking about landmarks. And the essential question of our story and our chapter this week is, how do landmarks help us understand our country's history? Now, in case you don't know who this man in this landmark is, we're going to be reading just a little bit about him. All right, so Martin Luther King Jr. played an important role in American history. This monument in Washington, D.C. honors his life. Now, people visit monuments to learn about important people and events in history. Landmarks and monuments help us remember and understand history. Now, I am sure that there are plenty of landmarks in your country as well that honor leaders that you have that have been very important or really powerful to your country. Martin Luther King Jr. was important to America because he helped fight for the rights of African American equality in the United States. So there are a lot of landmarks and a lot of monuments dedicated to Martin Luther King Jr. Now let's start with our vocabulary. So our first word is carved. Now if you carve something, it means that you cut out of a hard material, and you're going to cut some design. So this says, a strong river carved this canyon out of rock. Next, we have clues. Now, clues are little pieces of evidence that help us if we're trying to solve a mystery or solve a crime. Says that these paw prints are clues that a dog walked here today. Next, we have grand. Now, if something is grand, it means that it is magnificent, or it's great in size, or appearance, or style. Diane sat and gazed at the grand view of the river. Next, we have landmark. Now, a landmark is an object or a feature. Usually, it's in a town, and a lot of people can easily see it and can recognize it. It says that the Statue of Liberty is an American landmark. Can you think of a landmark that is very significant in China? The Great Wall of China is a very significant landmark. Next, we have massive. Now, if something is massive, it means that it's really big, huge, heavy, solid. The boaters looked up at the massive stone cliff. Next, we have monument. Now, we've already discussed a monument is like a statue or a building or some kind of structure that is built to remember a famous event or a famous person. Next, we have national. Now, national means that it is relating to an entire nation. So something is happening throughout the entire country, and it's something that everybody has in common. The 4th of July is a national holiday. Next, we have traces. Now, traces are little clues of evidence that are left behind. In the morning, we found traces or small amounts of snow on the plants. All right, now that brings us to our story for today. Now, the story that we're reading today is an expository text. Now, expository text means that this is a true story, and it's going to be giving us a lot of facts and a lot of information about a certain topic. And it's going to help us study, it's going to help us understand, and it's going to help us to learn something. And usually in an expository text, we have a lot of photographs, we have some maps, we might even have some captions or some graphs that give us more information. Now, in our story today, we're going to be talking about special landmarks and how they help us understand a country's history. Now, I mean, you can look at the picture. Do you have any clue what this landmark is or where it is? Well, you can take a guess and let's see if you are correct. A natural beauty. It is a famous landmark in the United States and it is huge. It is 1 mile deep and 10 miles wide. It was carved out of rock by the Colorado River. It stretches across parts of 4 states. What is it? It's the Grand Canyon. Exploring the canyon. Many tourists visit the Grand Canyon. In fact, almost 5 million people take a trip to this national treasure each year. People come from around the world to hike the dusty trails. They take boat rides down the Colorado River. They gaze across miles of massive red and brown cliffs. Nature lovers visit the Grand Canyon too. They come to look for animals. They peek at the hundreds of different kinds of plants. They may spot eagles and see mountain lions. They may spy snakes and spiders, and some may even see bats. Some visitors also come to learn about the canyon's history. All right, so my question to you is, what does it mean if something is a natural beauty? Okay, so it means that something is beautiful naturally. Just kind of have to flip the word around. So if I'm taking perhaps a girl, for example, maybe this girl doesn't need a lot of makeup. Maybe she is just beautiful just the way that she is. So just like the Grand Canyon, you don't have to put any flashy lights on the Grand Canyon. You don't need to decorate it. It is already beautiful just the way that it is. History of the canyon. Explorers from Europe first saw the Grand Canyon in 1540. Then in 1857, American explorers discovered it. They found groups of Native Americans living there. One of these groups was the ancient Pueblo people. The ancient Pueblo people lived in the canyon for almost 1,000 years. They were farmers and hunters. Scientists have found traces or parts of their old homes still standing. Scientists have also found very old rocks in the Grand Canyon. These rocks are some of the oldest in the world. They are clues to how the canyon was formed. Some scientists look for clues about the people who lived there. They have found tools and pieces of pottery. Okay, so let's take a look at the map. What information is this map giving us? Okay, good. So it's showing us where the Grand Canyon is located. Can you find the 3 states where the Grand Canyon is located? All right, we've got Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. Absolutely, very good. And who were the ancient people who used to live in the Grand Canyon? Very good. So it was the ancient Pueblo people, and they used to live in cliff houses that looked like this. It's a landmark. Theodore Roosevelt, or President Theodore Roosevelt, visited the Grand Canyon in 1903. He saw how beautiful it was. He said it was a special place. As a result, he made it a national monument. Then in 1919, the Grand Canyon was declared a national park. That means the land is protected. No one can build homes on it. The Grand Canyon is a place all Americans can enjoy. Protect the canyon. It is important for people to take care of national landmarks. We can do our part by following the rules when we visit. Animals and wildlife are safe there and should not be touched. Rivers must be kept clean. There is still a lot to learn about this beautiful landmark. It is important that we protect it. Now, what happens in 1919? We know that Theodore Roosevelt goes to visit, so what happens in 1919? Okay, so the park, the Grand Canyon, is declared a national park. Now, what does this mean exactly? Why is this important? The land is now protected. You cannot build anything on it. So the Grand Canyon will forever be the Grand Canyon. Now let's take a look at main idea and key details. Now, when we are talking about the story and we want to make a summary, we want to pick out the most important parts. So the main idea is basically the number one thought that the author has for the entire story. Now, the key details are some ideas or details that support the main idea. All right, so the main idea of this story is that landmarks can tell us about a nation, right? It can tell us a lot of important details. So let's think about some details from the story that support this idea. Well, one idea that supports this idea is that the Grand Canyon has many visitors every single year, especially people from America go to visit the Grand Canyon. We also know that there were ancient Pueblo people who used to live here. This tells us about some important history in America. Another important fact about this landmark is that, President Roosevelt went to visit it and declared it a landmark, and then it became a national park. So this helps us to understand that this is very important to the cultural and the traditions of the American society, to understand its culture and its history that happened in the USA. All right, now let's switch gears and let's work on our vocabulary for today. All right, so today we kind of have a pretty long paragraph, and what we want to do is, as we are reading, we want to fill in our vocabulary words into the right space. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. I'm going to read the entire thing one time. The first time, I want you to listen to me, and I want you to write down your answers on a piece of paper. Okay? When I finish reading, if you need more time, I want you to stop the video and I want you to continue to write down your answers, okay? After you're finished, I will go through it and I will put all of the right answers in so you can check to see how well you know the new vocabulary words, okay? So just as a reminder, here are the words. We have national, landmark, grand, massive, carved, monument, clues, and traces, okay? All right, you ready? It's kind of like a little test, but don't be too worried. It's all right? All right. The art museum was one of Phoebe's favorite places to visit. It was and an important historical site. In fact, it housed so many great works of art, it was considered a treasure by most people. Each time she visited this museum, she smiled. There was always an adventure or story around every corner. Phoebe loved to visit the sculpture garden. There were dolphins, people, and other creatures, out of stone and marble. It impressed her that someone could carefully cut such shapes out of rock. She loved to see new paintings on display. Some were no bigger than her notebook. However, some were so that she wondered how one person could have painted them. Today, Phoebe was eager to see a that was on loan from another museum. The memorial was over 300 years old and had been found in Italy. Historians felt that the piece provided about a little-known artist. It also told a story about life in a small Italian village hundreds of years ago. As she walked to the exhibit, Phoebe wondered if years from now someone would be looking at one of her own paintings to find or evidence about what life used to be like. The thought made her want to create a new painting when she returned home. Okay, here we go for the answers. So number 1 is landmark. Number 2, national. Number 3, grand. Number 4, carved. Number 5, massive. Number 6, monument. Number 7, clues. And number 8, traces. Now, if you didn't get them all correct, that's okay. Just practice some of these vocabulary words this week so you can understand them a little bit better, okay? We are always better with more practice. All right, now let's look at our grammar for today. So our grammar says that a simple sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought, okay? So a simple sentence is one thought. Simple sentences include a subject and a predicate, which we have been learning. Now we can combine simple sentences, and this can add some variety to our writing. We combine sentences by using conjunctions like and, or, and but, okay? And when we combine two simple sentences, it's important that we use a comma. All right. Now, all that we're going to do is we're going to read the sentence, and we are going to draw a line between the subject and the predicate. These are all simple sentences, okay? All simple sentences. So we just need to find the subject and the predicate, just like we have been doing in our last exercises. So, my friend Mara likes snow. Where should I draw my line? Very good. Right there. My friend Mara is the subject, like snow is the predicate. Number 2, we built a snowman. Where should I draw my line? Very good, between we and built. Number 3, cold and windy. Now, this is a trick question because this is not a sentence. This is not a simple sentence. It does not have a subject, okay? It doesn't even have a predicate. This is not a complete thought. So we're going to just, nothing on that one. Number 4, my brother skated on the pond. Where should I draw my line? Very good. My brother and skated. Next, threw snowballs at us. Where should I draw my line? This one is also not a sentence. There is no subject. Number 6, Mara and I hid behind a snow fort. All right, so where should I draw my line? Very good, between Mara and I. All right, so now we're going to look at a compound sentence. Now remember, compound sentence is going to take one simple sentence and another simple sentence and build a bridge with a conjunction like and, or, but. Okay? Very good. So, and is going to join some ideas, okay? Joining ideas is bringing them together. But is going to show that there's a change, okay? There's a change in the thought. Or is going to offer us a choice, this or this, okay? So they do different things. Remember, we need a comma before these conjunctions in a sentence. So here we go. We are going to combine sentences. Number 1, dogs make good pets. Cats are good pets too. How can I combine them? Well, I can say dogs and cats are good pets. We are combining ideas because they both are good pets, right? So we are combining it. Next, dogs learn tricks easily. Cats are not easy to train. Now, this is showing us a change, so we're going to use but. Dogs learn tricks easily, but cats are not easy to train. Number 3, you can teach your pet. You can take your pet to a trainer. Now, in this one, we're going to use or because we have a choice. You can teach your pet or you can take it to a trainer. Now, notice that I changed your pet to it because we don't need to say your pet twice in one sentence. We already know what we're talking about. Number 4, dogs are eager to please. They like to work for treats. Now we have to put the word and in there. Let's do this. Dogs are eager to please and they like to work for treats. Fantastic. Good job. All right, this brings us to our last exercise for today, and that is our draft model. So let's go ahead and let's give it a read. Parks are important because they offer a place to experience nature. Parks are places to have picnics, play sports, and do many other activities. In cities, a park can be a good place to get away from the commotion. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to exercise combining sentences to make this paragraph more interesting. Now, can you tell me what kind of sentences are used in this draft model? Simple sentences are used in this draft model, yes. So when we have something that is all simple, that means that the writing is simple and kind of short. It doesn't have big ideas. It has very short ideas and kind of choppy. Chop, 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 chop. What different sentence types can be added to this model? Well, we can add some compound sentences, right? Adding conjunctions, and, but, or. And by adding some compound sentences, this is going to make the writing more diverse, okay? It's going to give us more ideas, and it's going to make our writing more clear. Ooh, there we go. All right. Now follow along as I change this model paragraph into something that is a bit more higher level. Parks are important because they offer a place to experience nature and to spend time with your friends outdoors. Parks are places to have picnics, play sports, and do many other activities. In cities, a park can be a good place to get away from the commotion or to spend a day of fun with your family. All right, so all I did was add some variety. I added a compound sentence here, and I added a compound sentence here. I combined ideas, and I also gave them a choice. So this creates some diversity, some different choices in my writing, and this is going to make me look and sound like a much better English speaker and a much better English writer. All right, guys, that's the end of our lesson today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.